Hi there, my name's George and we're in Denver, Colorado at RaceKraft Design. Welcome to our shop of automotive craziness. We're looking forward to sharing a little bit of our slice of heaven with you guys today. So for this part of the tour, I'm going to show you our engine room, which is a clean room. Being in the healthcare business, cleanliness and making sure that we assemble things in a clean and controlled environment, of course, is very, very important. And so what you see here is a room where we can do some flow testing with our flow bench on various cylinder heads. We can also test run motors. Here you see a flathead. This is a sprint motor that'll go into an MG hot rod that's out in the shop right now. So this motor is just being built right now and modified for its new life. Here you see a classic 6-cylinder Jaguar motor. This is a 3.8 liter motor and will be used for one of our Jag street hot rods that we'll show you a little bit later that's in a process of renovation. And so here is really where we can do all our basic test fitting and cleaning work, the machine work we do out in the shop floor. You'll see some of our equipment out there. And this just makes for a very nice space that we can work on engines and keep things tidy and neat and focused. All right, so here we have kind of the main shop floor. You can see we have a number of lifts that we can use as we need to. And there's a number of vehicles here around you that are really kind of interesting. This is a 1973 Porsche RSR that we campaign very frequently at some of the local races with our vintage groups. And this car's traveled as well, gone to Indy and other places. This bodywork, this orange bodywork you see sitting here is off a McLaren M6B, a Can-Am car from 1968. And we'll show you the rest of that vehicle. The chassis and tub are over on the right side, having some engine work done to it. And then when we move farther back here, here's a Porsche 914-6. It's also a race car that's undergoing a little bit of service, and that's a wonderful car. For any Porsche file to race, very balanced and just a great ride. And if you kind of look up here to the right, you'll see this Firebird, which is kind of a unique vehicle. It's actually one of our customer cars, and it has an inline 6 overhead cam motor, which was pretty unusual in that time period. You swing a little more over to the right side here. You see this IMSA GTP car. This is a March 83G. This car is liveried as the Red Lobster car and was really a very iconic car, driven back in the IMSA series of the early to mid 80s. We actively campaign this car as well. It's undergoing a little bit of restoration work on the off season, as you can see. And here you see this wonderful black Healy that is also a customer car that's getting a little love shown to it as well. And then if we kind of swing around, in the background you see this Aston Martin. This is a Vanquish from the early 2000s. And this is a gentleman here out of Colorado who has us take care of his vehicle. It's here having a little bit of work done. To the right of that, you see that MG, that's that sprint motor that I showed you a little while ago that was in the engine room. That's going into that MG that you see there. And then this car moving forward, this green and white car, this is also an IMSA race car. Was one of the very iconic Monza race cars that Huffaker campaigned, and these were very, very successful in the IMSA series at that time as well. And this car is waiting for a new heart. Its motor is out getting refreshed, and then it'll be back on the track as well. Now here to the right of me, you see this car that actually just came back from some preliminary body shop work in its restoration. This is a Jaguar XK120. This is a 1951. And this car will be a lot of fun when it's finished. You notice some interesting and different details, like these cutouts in this area here for side exiting exhaust, very similar to the Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR. So we're taking a few cues from different cars to create a bit of a hot rod, but other than that, it will be very true to the original Jaguar formula of an XK120 of the early 50s. A look behind it here, you see this 911 tub that has a fresh roll cage welded into it. This will obviously be a weapons grade race car when finished. And we're not really sure exactly what's going to happen with that. It may become another early 70s RSR, or we actually may take this to the point of a turbocharged car, a 934 or 935 variant of the venerable Porsche race car. And as we kind of move in this direction, we're back to some street cars here. This is actually one of the crowd favorites just because it's got this wonderful color scheme. This is a 1960 Corvette convertible, and it's just like a little jewel on wheels. It's super fun to drive, and you only get waves and thumbs up when you take this around the Denver area. So we love taking this car out on sunny days. And on the other side of that, you see a Porsche 356. This is a 356 Porsche C. So this is one of the latest cars before the end of the 356 lineage. And this car's had a pretty rigorous life. This was a vintage race car for many, many years. And we brought it back to more of a street car, and it's in its process of evolution into one of a 356 Outlaw style that you see quite frequently these days. The motor in this car is actually a 912 race motor. And so we felt because we didn't have the original power plant anymore, and this car had already had some modifications done, that by golly, we'd turn it into an Outlaw hot rod also. So you see, we love hot rods, but we try to stay true to the original manufacturers and perhaps create a new twist on what they originally built, and this car is headed that way. Then as we circle around here, this black car is a Bentley Continental R. I believe this is a 93, and this is just a great, comfortable road car. These cars were all bespoke, and they transmit that. When you get in them and drive them, they just have a presence all their own. Certainly not a sports car, but really, I think, a noteworthy and fun car to drive. And the car to the right here is another Aston Martin Vanquish. This is an in-house car. This is a Vanquish S from 2006. And this was Aston Martin's, I guess, supercar from the mid-2000s, or as close as they created at that time, with a nice big old V12 in it. Makes all the right noises, and it's just a fun car to drive, but is actually rather stealthy. It doesn't poke you in the eye as it's going down the street. Most people don't even realize what this car is as it rolls by them, and so it's fun because it's very stealthy in that way. It doesn't draw a lot of attention.